A British woman who was vacationing in Dubai is now facing charges after she was allegedly raped by two men from the UK. Now, the two men were from the UK, but they were also in Dubai vacationing along with her. And the woman who alleged that she was attacked by the two men in their hotel room after sharing a drink with them was arrested and had her passport confiscated. Now, the woman, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is currently on bail but unable to leave the country unless the charges are dropped or she is able to successfully appeal them in court. Now, why is she facing charges? For having extramarital sex. So, for having sex while she's not married, while she's in Dubai. Do not vacation in Dubai.
Never.
Don't vacation in Dubai. This is a gigantic warning, especially if you're a woman. It means that if you get raped, you are the one who will be blamed for it. The two men were able to fly back to the UK. No charges, no punishment, no nothing. That's what happened to those two men. This woman, she has to wait months until she stands trial on these charges.
So we often speak out against the Gulf countries because their leaders practice fundamentalist Islam. And then I will, from time to time, hear a defense of them. But no, Cenk, they have these beautiful cities. By the way, oftentimes built by slave labor. So I hope you're enjoying those beautiful cities. They will bring in Pakistanis, other Muslims, by the way, and non-Muslims. They'll take away their passports so they can't leave and make them work for wages they didn't agree to, slave labor, okay? And then they will do this to their own citizens, and they'll do it to people who aren't their citizens. Oh, but Cenk, they have such lovely malls. I'm not interested in their goddamn malls, okay? So in this case, think about how atrocious this is. And I can't believe the UK would tolerate this for 1 second. Don't give me any nonsense about a cultural argument. Look, I defend Muslims all the time because they're human beings, and there's 1.6 billion Muslims in the world. And they're not monolithic. They don't all agree on one interpretation of Islam. But if you believe in this interpretation of Islam and you are the ruler of a country and you imprison women who have been raped, well, then I got a bone to pick with you, okay? And you can say that's your culture. Okay, then I can say my culture is I never, ever do business with you. Okay? Oh, I got a cultural argument. You got a cultural argument? I got one too. Okay? How about the UK stops doing every penny of business with the United Arab Emirates? How about we never buy your oil again? I know they're not going to want to do that either because the government in the West, certainly including America, are in bed with these Gulf countries. Oh, I got to have the cheap oil. I got to have the cheap oil. Go ahead, rape the woman and then imprison them. Now, in this case, they didn't rape the woman, but the woman who was raped, go ahead and imprison her, okay?
Yep.
And let me explain just real quick what they lean on to do this. In their interpretation of Islam, which is not shared by everyone in Islam, it is not practiced in Turkey. It's not practiced in Indonesia, in so many other places. Now there'll be people like, oh no, but I heard in a poll there was 3.5% in Indonesia who believe this. Okay, we're talking about, in this case, a Gulf country who does practice it, okay? So their interpretation is, well, you need 4 witnesses to convict anybody on anything. Now, we don't have 4 witnesses on the rape because they raped her in private. Sad day. So the guys who've been accused, you're free to go. Now, why did they imprison the woman? Well, you admitted it. By saying you were raped, you admitted having sex outside of marriage. So I don't need 4 witnesses. So you're going to prison.
It's amazing.
That is so gross.
And this is not an isolated incident. This keeps happening over and over again in the UAE. In fact, Australian Alicia Gale was jailed for 8 months after reporting a rape to authorities in the UAE back in 2008. And then in 2009, British woman Roxanne Hiller spent 3 months in jail in the UAE after it was claimed she slept with her boss. And so you're putting yourself in danger when you go to a country like this that punishes women like this. Because, again, it gives questionable people, men who would want to rape women, the ability and the entitlement to go ahead and do it. They don't have to worry about any of the charges. And then you as a woman have no way of protecting yourself because you can't go report it. If you report it, you're the one who's going to suffer the consequences, not the person who allegedly raped you. It's scary.
I know people who go to the Gulf countries, but I'm sorry, I think you're nuts. If you're a woman, you're taking your life into your hands because they don't care about you. You're not a citizen to them. To them, you're just a person to exercise power over. I'm not putting it on everybody in the UAE, but I am putting it on their government. Their government, by the way, they think they're so great. Why? Because they happen to be sitting on top of a lot of, in the Gulf, natural gas and oil. Wow, that makes you so special. You didn't earn anything, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then, despite the fact that you're that wealthy, you still built your cities based on slave labor. I got no interest in the Gulf countries. I think you're nuts to go visit them if you're going to go visit them. You don't get it. They might look like the West, but they're not. Their rulers are fundamentalists, and you're playing with your life when you go to them. And in the UK, the fact that you have not pulled every economic deal with the UAE for every day that she's in jail, that is atrocious. You should immediately send your ambassador there and say, if I don't have her with me when I leave this meeting, there's not going to be a single goddamn contract that we're ever going to do with the UAE again. Don't fight phantoms that aren't there. Fight the real injustices that actually exist. This is real. Go fix it. Together we can change the media, make it more representative of you and not the powerful. Come join us, make a difference. tytnetwork.com/join.